Today I am building an outdoor front entry table. Hey guys, how's it going? This is a relatively quick project that was totally and completely my idea. I mean my wife's idea. To start this project off, I dig out the one random cedar fence board I have in stock, since this is going to be an outdoor project. It's a little bit wonky, but I'm not doing anything that requires the entire length of the board for this project, so I'm okay cutting it up. Speaking of which, I head over to the miter saw and do just that. With the board cut into two segments, I head back to the table saw to cut off the rounded edge of the boards. Then over at the workbench, I glue the two pieces together using Titebond 3, which is rated for outdoor use, and clamp it for an hour or so to set up. While waiting for the panel to dry, I head back to the table saw and rip the third segment of the original board to 1 1/4 inch wide strips. This will serve as the apron of the table. Since this board is used up and I still need a leg for the table, I take a segment off another board and rip a few strips off of it as well, which were then also glued together and set off to dry. Now with the top dry, or at least dry enough to work with, I remove the clamps and scrape off the glue squeeze out and run it through the thickness planer a couple times to level out the seam. Since the clamps marred the edges of the panel a little bit, I knock off the edges of the panel over at the table saw and lop off a corner of the panel over at the miter saw. If I was paying attention, I would have lopped off the other corner, since the corner I did take off pretty much makes the panel upside down from what I originally wanted. Not that there's anything technically wrong with this side, I just like the other side better. With the panel now more or less complete, I mark out and dry fit the apron in place, glue and pin nail the apron together, and glue the apron onto the tabletop. Okay, whoa, hold on, stop typing. Yes, this is technically the wrong thing to do, I know. With the way the wood will expand and contract with the seasonal changes, the short side and the 45-degree side will eventually break off. I'm getting there. Settle down. I drop my granite countertop chunk I have in the shop down on the apron to hold it in place, as well as an old motor I picked up and set it off to the side to dry. Again, I pulled the leg out of clamps, scraped off the squeeze out, and cleaned it up on the thickness planer as well. Then with everything cleaned off, I mark out the center of the 45-degree piece on the apron and screw the leg into place. And because I'm sure you're curious now, to hold the apron into place after the glue dries, I countersink a few holes into the bottom of the apron and screw it into the top. The long side should be fine since the top should expand widthwise and not lengthwise, so on the short side I drill an enlarged hole to allow the screw to move back and forth as needed. You good? Okay. Next up is hand sanding. I figured it was small enough and cedar is soft enough that it wouldn't take too long, and I frankly didn't really feel like pulling out the random orbit sander. Before I take it inside, I soften the top edges of the tabletop with a combination of my mini block plane and some sandpaper. And with that, it's time for finish, so I bring it inside my basement finishing room and attack it with 4 coats of Helmsman spar urethane, since this will be living outside when it's done, sanding with 320 grit in between coats and finishing it off with a 3000 grit sanding pad. To attach the table to the railing, I drill a hole through the railing with a step bit and screw the table down through the railing. Quick and easy. And, roughly centered so that expansion and contraction won't destroy the tabletop. And with that, this project is done. I'm really happy with how this project worked out. It's gotten a ton of use in the last few months that we've had it. Also being the perfect spot for non-contact package or food deliveries, and basically just no more dropping things fumbling for your keys. You have a place to actually set stuff down now, which is just perfect. Works out quite well. And with that, I'm going to call it a video. Thank you all for watching, and if you like what I'm doing here, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. If you have any questions or comments, I look forward to reading them in the comment section below. And if you want to see more up-to-date projects, you can always follow me on Instagram at John the Schreiner. I'm a lot more active over there. I usually am doing daily updates there, so you can always check me out over there. Otherwise, I will see you here in the next video, and have a good one.